Imagine a crowd of people suddenly overcome by an uncontrollable urge to laugh, scream, or even dance in the streets. No explanation, no warning, just mass hysteria sweeping through like a tidal wave. What if the mind itself can trigger chaos on a scale we can't predict? What is behind this madness? Our story begins in a small, peaceful village in the heart of 16th century Europe. The inhabitants of the village, simple farmers and traders, lived an ordinary life until one fateful day when something inexplicable took hold of them. At the center of this strange event was a young woman named Clara. She had always been a quiet, reserved soul, content with her work as a seamstress. But on that day, Clara's world and the world of everyone around her changed forever. What began as a single person's outburst would soon spiral into one of the most bizarre and chilling phenomena in history, a mass hysteria that no one could explain. It started with Clara. One morning, while sewing by the window, she suddenly burst into an uncontrollable fit of laughter. At first, it seemed innocent enough, just a momentary lapse in her usual calm demeanor. But when she continued, louder and more erratically, it caught the attention of her neighbors. They stood at her door, confused and concerned. But before anyone could approach her, another person in the village, Marta, a nearby widow, was seen stumbling into the town square, laughing just as uncontrollably as Clara. The laughter spread like wildfire. It was infectious, but not in the joyful sense. Soon more people began to join in, some with shrill screams, others with wild dancing that couldn't be stopped. The village square became a chaotic scene of convulsions and shrieks. And then, the strangest thing of all, no one knew why it was happening. No one could stop it. Rumors began to spread, whispers of witchcraft, demons, or divine punishment. People were gripped by fear, but the fear didn't stop the hysteria from growing. It seemed like a supernatural force had invaded the very souls of the villagers, pulling them into a collective madness that left them helpless. Within hours, the strange outbreak spread beyond Clara and Marta. The entire village was swept into an epidemic of unexplainable laughter, shrieking and dancing. Men, women, and even children were all caught in the throes of this bizarre, uncontrollable mania. Doctors and healers were called in, but nothing they did could calm the madness. The best they could do was restrain the villagers. But even then, it didn't stop the episodes from continuing. As the days went on, word of this strange event reached nearby towns. More people came, drawn by the rumors of what was happening. Some in disbelief, others eager to witness the madness themselves. As the numbers swelled, so did the intensity of the hysteria. It became a spectacle. People were falling into fits in public squares, while others would laugh themselves to exhaustion. The small town had become a living nightmare. A local priest, Father Matthias, tried to intervene, offering prayers and blessings in an attempt to rid the village of what many believed was a demonic possession. But despite his efforts, the hysteria didn't end. It only worsened. The town square became a place of chaos, with no one able to explain why or how it all began, and no end in sight. Mass hysteria, also known as mass psychogenic illness, has appeared in various forms throughout history. Though it may seem like a modern phenomenon, incidents like this have been recorded for centuries. In Clara's village, as in many other cases, the causes of mass hysteria have baffled historians and scientists for generations. What makes these outbreaks so chilling is the complete unpredictability of them. In the case of the village, experts from the time, armed with medieval understanding, quickly jumped to conclusions about demonic forces or witchcraft. The thought that a group of people could simultaneously lose control of their bodies and minds seemed to point to something supernatural, something beyond human understanding. However, modern science suggests that these outbreaks are likely the result of stress, social pressures, and even environmental factors like ergot poisoning, which can cause hallucinations. Some historians believe that the villagers were responding to the pressures of their lives, amplified by social and cultural norms that put great strain on the human psyche. Despite these theories, the true cause of mass hysteria remains elusive. What causes a group of people, sometimes in the hundreds or even thousands, to suddenly exhibit strange behaviors? Is it a collective response to a shared fear, or something far more inexplicable? Is it the mind's way of coping with an overwhelming event? Or could there be a deeper, more mysterious force at play? As time passed, the hysteria took an even darker turn. People started to fall ill, not from any disease, but from exhaustion brought on by days of continuous fits. Some villagers collapsed from sheer physical strain, their bodies unable to handle the stress of dancing or laughing for days on end. Others were unable to stop screaming, their voices hoarse and broken. Then, as suddenly as it began, the hysteria stopped. One day, without any warning, the villagers were silent. No more laughter, no more screams. It was as though the madness had simply evaporated into thin air. People were left wondering what had happened, and more disturbingly, why it had happened at all. Years later, rumors spread that the village had been cursed, and that anyone who visited would be forever changed. Some claimed that the outbreak was caused by a curse cast by an angry witch. Others insisted it was divine punishment for the village's sins. Whatever the reason, the village never truly recovered from the trauma of that incident. The people who had survived carried the memories of those terrifying days with them for the rest of their lives. The true cause of the hysteria was never fully understood. The village was abandoned, and over time it faded into history, becoming just another chapter in the book of strange, unexplained occurrences. Still, the question lingers. What truly happened that day? Could it be a psychological phenomenon, or was there something more mysterious at play? The story of Clara's village is just one of many instances of mass hysteria throughout history. From the dancing plague of 1518, where dozens of people danced uncontrollably for days, to the Tanganyika laughter epidemic of 1962, where hundreds of people in Tanzania were suddenly struck by fits of laughter, the world has seen strange outbreaks of collective madness. Each of these events offers a chilling reminder of how vulnerable the human mind can be, how easily it can be pushed to the edge. When a society is under great stress, when fear and anxiety take hold, the mind can react in strange and often uncontrollable ways. But what makes mass hysteria so terrifying is that it isn't just an individual's mind unraveling. It's the collective mind of an entire community. In the case of Clara's village, no one ever truly knew what triggered the hysteria. Was it fear? Was it mass suggestion? Or was it something darker? Something that history has yet to uncover. Whatever the cause, the event left an indelible mark on history, reminding us of the power of the human mind and how little we really understand about its limits. The story of mass hysteria is a stark reminder of how the human mind can become overwhelmed during times of extreme stress or fear. While our minds are powerful, they are not infallible. In moments of collective anxiety, the psyche can spiral out of control, creating chaos and confusion that defy reason. Looking back at these strange events in history, we are reminded of the fragility of our mental state. Often, the greatest enemy isn't the world around us, but the fear and anxiety that live within us. It forces us to ask, how much control do we truly have over our thoughts? And what can we learn from these bizarre phenomena? As unsettling as these occurrences are, they highlight the importance of understanding our own minds and guarding against the dangers of fear. After all, the mind can be the greatest mystery, and sometimes our greatest challenge. Don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing stories like this one.